Hello, welcome to Cooking with Pina. Today I'm going to make lasagna alla bolognese with bechamel sauce. This recipe has three parts. One is to make the meat sauce alla bolognese, and then I'm going to make the bechamel sauce. At the end, we will assemble the lasagna. The ingredients for the meat sauce alla bolognese are olive oil, bacon, salt and pepper, beef stock, celery, carrots, onions, strained Pomi tomatoes, a glass of white wine, and of course a 90% lean beef, ground beef, and some pork. The first thing you do is add some olive oil at the bottom of the pan, and then add some bacon. The bacon, actually, all I need it for is for a little bit of grease and give a different taste to the olive oil. So I don't use very much olive oil. So this needs to get nice and crispy. This is almost done, and turn down the flame a bit. And I don't need all of this. No. So now that I have the bacon grease, the next ingredients are the three vegetables, the onions, the carrots, and the celery. These need to saute nicely, soften. Put down the heat so as not to burn. Now the vegetables have been sauteed, and I've taken it out because this is already cooked. And I'm going to add the meat, the beef, and the pork together. This has to be sauteed until the beef gets nice and brown, and sometimes there is some juice from it and it needs to be evaporated before you add the next ingredients, which is the wine. As you can see, there is quite a bit of juice coming out of the meat, and this needs to go away so that the beef becomes nice and dry before I add the wine. Now I'm going to add the wine into this. And now you add back the vegetables, the carrots, the celery, and the onions, and let it sort of cook together a bit. And this will also absorb some of the juice and the wine. And the next ingredients to add is the tomatoes. As you can see, it's nice and dry, so hardly any juice left, which is excellent. So this is about 2.5 cups of Pomi tomatoes, maybe a little bit more than 2.5 cups. Let it cook for about 5-10 minutes. At this point, after you add the Pomi tomatoes, you need to stir often as not to burn the bottom. So once you add the next ingredients, which is the beef stock, it's not so necessary to stir often, so then you just let it cook. I'm going to add some salt and some black pepper. What I have here is 2 cups of beef stock and 2 cups of water. I feel that if I had 4 cups of beef stock, it would be very strong taste. So I think that mixing the water and the beef stock is, I prefer it. But you can do whatever you like to your preference. Now this has to cook. In the meantime, I'm going to start making the bechamel sauce while this is cooking. For making the bechamel sauce, you need 2 pots. One is to boil the milk or to heat up the milk, and the other one is to make the sauce. What you need for the sauce are the following: the butter, which is a 1/2 cup of butter, a pinch of salt, a cup of flour, just an all-purpose flour, and some nutmeg. The first thing is to heat up the milk. This has to be nice and hot in order for us to make the sauce. So for this pot, we're going to melt some butter. Okay. Put the flame in medium or medium-low, as not to burn the butter. And after the butter has melted, we take it off the burner and add the cup of flour all at once. And then you put it back on the burner. In the meantime, we stir the tomato sauce. It's coming very nicely. The butter must be totally melted before you add the flour. I'm going to turn off the burner and put it on the side. And this is I'm going to put this in, the cup of flour. And this has to be stirred until all the flours have been absorbed. And it becomes a roux. It's a roux. And once the butter has been absorbed, you need to put it back on the burner so that the flour can cook. And here you need to stir rather quickly because this can burn very easily. While you're mixing the flour, the roux, make sure that you can stir the milk so as not to burn, because milk can burn very easily. So now the roux has been mixed well, and I'm going to put about 1/3 of the milk, the hot milk, in here. Okay. Keep the milk hot and stir rather fast so you see the milk is being absorbed nicely. Continue putting some more milk in it. And put some more milk. This is it's very important that you keep stirring because you have a flame at the bottom. And then add the rest of the milk. Keep stirring. This is the way it's supposed to look. A pudding, nice and extremes like a ribbon, as you can see. Now you can add, I just add a pinch of salt. I'm going to add some nutmeg. This is to your preference, how much you want to put in. It smells so fantastic. It's delicious. This is done. Now we put it aside. This is already done. Now we're going to boil the pasta. I'm going to put a little bit of oil first and some salt. I'm using my Barilla pasta. It is very important for this pasta to cook al dente rather than just cooked, fully cooked, because this will also go in the oven and it will finish cooking in the oven. I'm using a pound of lasagna pasta. And now I'm going to assemble the lasagna. The first thing you need to do is to put some of the sauce at the very bottom of the pot here. Okay, you don't need to put a lot, and do not put any cheese at the bottom because it will stick. Okay, and take the lasagna noodles and start assembling it. A little bit hot, but it's okay. I think my hands are used to it. Just layer it. And now we add right on top of this tomato sauce or the meat sauce, we're going to add the bechamel sauce. Spread it around like this nicely. This time I also add some diced mozzarella cheese, and mozzarella cheese sort of keeps the lasagna together because it will, of course, it will melt. Parmigiano Reggiano. No lasagna should go without it. Now you're ready for the next noodle, and you keep layering this until it comes to the very top. And you do the same thing again, just add more sauce. Put some mozzarella, a little bit of mozzarella, not too much. And Parmigiano Reggiano. I hope you will try this recipe, especially now with the holidays coming and you'll have a lot of company. This will serve at least 7 to 8 adults. Have more tomatoes, tomato sauce. If you tried this recipe, please write a comment. Let me know how you like it, or if you change something. Now I'm using my bechamel. This is the last layer, and on this layer I do not put the mozzarella. I just put the bechamel and the Parmigiano Reggiano. That's it. Takes about 20 minutes to cook. Remember, the noodles are already cooked, the pasta is already cooked, so it doesn't need very much. When you see the bubbles around the pan here, that will signify that's done. What I do in the last couple minutes, I put it on broil, so the noodles, the pasta becomes a little bit crispy and tastes very delicious. My oven is ready. I have it at 365, but you could go up to 375. Depends on the oven. Lasagna is completed now, and you have to let it rest for at least 15 minutes. Otherwise, it will just fall apart. Now I'm going to try and serve this. It's not 15 minutes yet. I think my family wants to eat. So I'm going to start cutting it. It might fall apart because I can see it. So you can see the layers. It's really very nice. There they are. Oh, it's very delicious. Salute. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I hope you will try and you let me know how you like it. Please don't forget to subscribe to Cooking with Pina. Arrivederci alla prossima volta. Ciao.